The talk show for Eurovision lovers. My name is Rafa and I'm the editor-in-chief of the Daily Mirror. Now, this year, on the road to Eurovision 2022, I'm not going to be alone. I have a new partner in crime. Gentle ladies and gentle guys, but also gentlemen, please welcome with a round of applause my new partner in crime directly from Portugal, George. Welcome to Titina Stokes. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm really excited. How are you today?
Well, not bad, not bad. I'm so excited to start this new series of Titina Stokes, the talk show for Eurovision lover. And as you know, Titina Stokes is not only about interviews. It's going to be about gossips, which we all like. It's going to be about updates on this fantastic event that we all love, which is called Eurovision Song Contest, which is going to be held in Turin, in my native country, Italy. So, George, tell our followers how they can interact with us during this season.
Yes, indeed. So I would just like to remind all our followers that can interact with us with hashtags Titina22 and hashtag ESC22. So we would love all to see your comments and just interact and join us. We would love to have you with us.
Indeed, do so. Now, as I said, we are going to start with something, you know, strong. One of the most followed national selections leading to Eurovision Song Contest. And we're talking about the national selection of the country where our lovely George comes from. So we're talking about Festival da Canção of Portugal. And to do so, George, we thought we needed to start with one of the most interesting, even peculiar, and I know they won't get offended with this word, peculiar duos in the competition this year. Gentle ladies and gentle guys, please welcome Fado Bicha. Good morning. How you doing, guys?
Good morning.
We're doing great. It's sunny yet cold morning, but I love cold sunny days.
So guys, Lila and João, is it? Am I right with the names? Thank you so much for being here with us today. So, how do you feel about being in Festival da Canção?
Yes, it's massive and it has a long history. Like the festival goes back to the 1960s. It has been through many different phases. And somehow it let's say that year after year it has the tradition of showing musical creation in Portugal, let's say. Of course, people will say that it's like an example of what kind of music is made in Portugal. Of course, it goes far beyond everything that goes to Festival da Canção. But still, I feel that since 2017, when RTP, which is the broadcaster responsible for Eurovision here in Portugal, the public television, when they decided to change the format of Festival da Canção, I think they made a good choice, and not only because on that very same year Portugal won Eurovision, but also because it kind of broadened the access that many different artists have to Festival da Canção that they didn't have before. Mm-hmm. And we also feel that, and I think it's kind of general understanding, that it increased the quality of the entries in Festival da Canção. So for us, it's a big joy to go to Festival da Canção. Ever since we started the project, there were always people writing on our social networks or even talking to us saying that you have to go to Festival da Canção. So it's kind of something that people were expecting from us. And we were all, like, throughout these years, sometimes we wanted to go, sometimes we didn't want to go, because at the same time it's television, and television abides to specific rules, which we are not so comfortable with. But last year we decided to compete, because in Festival da Canção a few artists are invited directly, and then there are a few slots that people can subscribe spontaneously, and we did a spontaneous subscription, but we weren't selected. And this year RTP invited us, and we're very happy.
That's an honor.
Be part of it, yes.
That's an honor. Now, guys, let's talk about your name. We've already written about you in one of our articles, thanks to George. But Fado Bicha, a very special, peculiar name, let's say so, which we could translate as queer fado. Okay, and fado is something that it's in the heart of the Portuguese people. It's in deep in culture of it. Why did you choose this name? And if you can tell us a little bit the story behind it, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it was Lila who started the project, and they already started to name the project Fado Bicha. That first little shows. I think the name is really particular. After Lila can tell the story, but it's particular because joined two things that until now was completely opposite and completely non together. It was like Fado, the traditional song from Portugal. It's really very conservative song, Catholic song, and about like the old Portugal until now, and represent these conservative points. And Bicha, it's queer, but it's used in Portugal like an insult.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bad insult that normally is used against the homosexual people, but the people, like the men people, were perceptive like a woman or like a feminine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's just be honest. Like yesterday, me and George were having a little discussion about the translation we wanted to give to Bicha. I lived in Portugal, and as a gay man, I know what Bicha could mean. Generally, it is used as, in England, we use faggot. So it's to offend the other person. It's to be, you know, a little bit repulsive against the other person. Which is not nice. That's why we decided to call Fado Bicha. And that's very peculiar what you say, because Fado is something classical. Thank you very much for clearing this out for us.
Yes, and your music is definitely not just a reflection of the Portuguese society and musical scene, but it does have an activism involved into it. So how did you move your activism, your LGBT plus activism, and you combine it into your musical project?
Well, the thing is, once you start this experimentation, which is what it was in the beginning, and it was just me because we didn't know each other, and only a few months after, João took notice of what I was doing, and he also felt compelled to participate and to help me in the beginning, but then quickly it became a two-headed project. But in the beginning, it was very, very, very much experimental. I started in a very small bar in Alfama, in one of the historical quartiers of Lisbon, and it was a bar owned by a queer black person from Brazil, who was giving a stage to emergent queer projects. And I spoke to him, and I said what I was intending on experimenting. And he said, "Oh, you have to do it here. You have to do it here." So I started there. And as soon as you go on, like you place yourself in this place which is completely new. Like you're completely writing there are no rules. You're completely writing everything as you do it. So it doesn't escape your mind that it's already political. It's already very political. And I was already a political person and an activist before. As soon as it started, it was already an activist project in the sense of the place that I was creating that didn't exist before. And it created a lot of clash a few months later when we started having some presence in social media, especially from the community of Fado. And then we just kept adding and adding more layers of political awareness, because it's what makes sense to us as queers, as bichas in singing Fado. It doesn't make sense otherwise. Okay. We decided very early on that we weren't aiming for any validation or legitimization from anyone, that would not define our work or our predisposition to create.
Right. Well, thank you. And always talking about Fado, which is a cultural heritage of Portugal, as we said. And before you, many international names brought Fado to a world stage. thinking about Marisa, Amália Rodrigues, Ana Moura, which you just mentioned. Now, who inspired you to move towards Fado and sing this style of music? Is there any artists that inspired and keeps on inspiring you when you compose your music?
Yes, well, I will say the common answer, which is Amália Rodrigues. She was the one that drew me into Fado in my early teen years. As you said, Fado is very omnipresent, let's say, in Portuguese culture and society. But as you grow up, unless you grow up in for example, in a historical neighborhood or in a family connected to Fado, I think that usually children and teenagers are quite averse to Fado because we usually feel it's a song for old people. We don't really connect to it. It feels very old-fashioned and sad. But as I was reaching, I don't know, as I was like around 14 years old, I remember very clearly that I started to connect to songs that I would hear from Amália Rodrigues, and they started to make sense to me, especially the poems and the emotionality of everything, the voice, the tragicness about it. And for sure, she was the one to draw me to Fado, and she's still the Fado singer that I listen to the most nowadays, and the one that I connect to the most. But given this, I'm not one that just I love the old ones and I hate what is done nowadays. Not at all.
No.
Many Fado singers, we like many Fado singers currently. We love Gisela João, we love Sara Correia, we love Ana Moura as well, Aldina Duarte. So there are many very good singers. Now, me particularly, I only listen to female Fado singers. Like, Fado has changed a lot since there is something that we can call Fado, historically speaking. It has been played on the piano. There wasn't even a Portuguese guitar, that instrument, until the end of the 19th century. It has been danced. It came from Brazil. So it's like it's a living being. So it has to evolve. Like, there's no other way.
Let's say that as the culture evolves and the people living in the culture evolve, so does the music, and that represents that population. It's absolutely true. Couldn't agree more.
Yes, going back to the contest that you are participating now, Festival da Canção. So you are amongst 20 different competitors, and they all bring something different to the contest and to the musical scene. Did you know all of your colleagues are participating with you in this contest?
No, we didn't know all of them.
Before the festival?
Before, yes.
Yes, we didn't know.
Yes.
But now we already listened the old songs, and we like it very much. We think that this year, potential, it's a really diverse, with a lot of diversity songs, but with a lot of quality, I think. But quality, it's relative, but
yes, with good songs.
Yes, well, a lot of songs touch me.
We didn't know Kubita, for example. And it was lovely to meet another queer contestant.
Yes. And can you name some of your favorites? The songs.
You read my mind.
Well, my favorites are Maru, Pongo and Tristani, and Blachi. There are my three favorites.
Okay.
Good choices.
João, same?
Yes, true. Yeah. But favorite one is not from the Portugal.
No, you like Jonas.
Yeah, the Jonas, yes.
He likes Jonas.
But for my favorite one is not from Portugal, it's from Spain. What's the name of the...
Hi, Mama.
No, the singer?
Rigoberta Bandini.
Yes.
What are your favorites? I would like to know.
Well, I have to be honest. I'd go for one, for a couple at the moment. Your song is because it's Fado, and it's not because you're here with us, but because Fado is one of my favorite style of music. You can actually, if you speak to my parents or my husband, they would kill me because in my house I always have Fado going on, even when I work. And I like to sing Fado. I pretend to be a Fado singer. And whenever I travel to Portugal, I bring my husband to any of the Casas de Fado around Lisbon. And then the other one is Maru. at the moment, which I really like, because I do think that she took the real essence of Portugal in one word, which is the only word that cannot be translated in one similar word in any other language, which is true. Yeah. So, guys, I'm talking about your song now. Your song is called Povo Pequenino, which translated would be little people, if we can say so, or small people. Why this title? What is the real message of the song that you would like to bring to the audience?
Well, to begin with, we shared an official translation for the poem because we felt that it was not easily translatable, or at least the song has so many references that are not totally grasped by a little translation. So we felt that it would be interesting because we knew that many people from abroad who don't speak Portuguese would be listening to it, to share an official translation.
Thank you so much, Lila. Sorry, we are going to share the translation that they shared with us today via email, and we'll put it in the description of the video on our YouTube channel and on thegailymirror.com. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Sorry to interrupt you.
And we chose to translate the title as Little Nation because the word povo is a polysemic word in Portuguese. Like, it has many different meanings which are parallel and close, but different all the same. And we felt, for me, like I wrote the lyrics. The word povo is used in the sense of a national identity or a national society. So we chose to translate as Little Nation because I felt that it was closer to what I wanted to convey. The song came out of I wrote it in a period of distress concerning the rise in popularity of a party in Portugal, which is, well, in the way I see it and we see it, neo-fascist, and which now we are having elections on Sunday, and all the polls say that it will become the third biggest party in the national parliament. So they're a big threat, and
which is scary if you think about the past of Portugal.
Yes, very scary. And I wrote it in 2020, already during the pandemic, some parts of the poem, and then I completed it. And it comes out of a big frustration to, as you say, the history of Portugal. We had during the 20th century the largest dictatorial regime, the largest period of dictatorship in Europe. It was almost 50 years of dictatorship in Portugal, which ended in 1974 with the Carnation Revolution. And ever since then, we have this. It's very present in our culture, the word freedom, liberdade in Portuguese. And every year we go around with carnations in our social media or in our shirts, and we go to the streets and we have these slogans. But it's very frustrating at that moment, and also now even more. It was very frustrating to see that all of these rhetorics were coming back big strong in Portugal, and it's very frustrating to me to realize that we haven't learned from this experience, and we haven't really managed to collectively develop a complex idea of what freedom means daily. Which for me, freedom is a daily practice. It's not a state. It will never be a state. It's a daily practice. And so it came out of this frustration with the history that we have, and now with this menace that is lurking and increasing in Portugal.
Well, Lila, unfortunately, let me tell you this: I think the entire Western world at the very moment is facing more or less the same rise of fascism or totalitarianisms. Again, I can think about my own country, which is Italy, and we share the same day of liberation, which is 25th of April. And it looks like nothing has been learned from the recent story. Yes. But unfortunately, or luckily enough for today, I don't know, to be smiling again, this is not the place to talk about sad things today. But thank you so much for sharing the real meaning of the song, and knowing these, I'm 100% sure that people would appreciate your project, your music, your song even more. What's the next question? I got lost.
So so basically going back to the music, the song that you are entering in Festival da Canção. We have talked about the Fado influences that your project has, but it does sound to us that it's not only Fado. Actually, it has a lot of modern sounds, let's say, that remind us of other influences. I've read comments all around on the internet saying that the song and the voice kind of reminds other artists and other types of music. Let's put like I've read about Conan Osiris. I've read about.
Hi, Conan.
Yes. I've read a few comparisons with Conan and even with big other names that participated, that are part of our music industry. And
well, to begin with, the musical landscape in Portugal is so poor in queer references that as soon as a new queer person, let's say, comes in the music scene, like for sure they are going to be compared to Osiris and to António Variações, because there are so little references that it's almost inescapable. And we love António Variações and we love Conan Osiris, so we're very honored to be compared to them. The song that we wrote, and João, well, we did the music, let's say, composed the music together, but it's more on João's part. And we took elements from Portuguese folk, and especially from a region in the north of Portugal called Minho. And there is a specific folk tradition there with different types of song, let's say. And there is one specific which is called Malhão, and this is one that we took inspiration from. And also from intervention songs, like the ones that were created and sung before 25th of April and immediately after the 25th of April. This is, I think it's more like the landscape of references that our song has, at least the one that I would choose.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the song is funny because musically, the first part, it's really complex about harmony. It's really complex. And the second part, it's really simple, and it becomes the mix of this more intellectual music from Zé Afonso or Fausto. And the second part goes to the roots of the Portuguese song, with just two chords, or we complex a little bit more, but the bass is two chords, and with this North song of Malhão, and mix all together with the rhythm. And I like it because it's really, I never saw it before in one song this crazy.
You're absolutely right, João, because you know one thing, at the first time we listened to your song, it's like, okay, right, this is a classical Fado song. Then all of a sudden, it's like, what? Like, what's this music? It makes you want to dance. It makes you want to move on music, which is just great. But now, talking about this difference of music and rhythms in your own song, what could we be expecting from the staging of your song on the stage of Festival da Canção? Just give us a little bit of anticipation to stimulate our appetite on your music, please.
Well, we can say that it will be very much like our live shows. Of course, there is this notion of spectacularity which we have to abide to, because it's television, so it follows different rules. But we wanted to keep it really, really true to ourselves and to our tradition, the tradition that we have been creating ourselves for 4 years. So yeah, it will be very Fado Bicha, very, very Fado Bicha.
But guys, let's dream big. for a few seconds, please. And this is actually a good luck for you. Eurovision. Let's talk Eurovision. What does Eurovision mean to you as an artist and as a queer people? And who was your favorite singer last year?
For us, Eurovision is like we like fireworks a lot.
We love fireworks.
we think it's the music, and yes, and for us, because you know our community, we already know for a long time what silence is. You know, like what to be quiet, to be on the rules, and even for Portugal, we think in Fado we usually say silêncio que se vai cantar o Fado, so it's like silence. We go to sing Fado, and for us we need the noise. You know, we are tired of this silence because silence is violent for us. So for us, like the Eurovision fireworks, it's a celebration of queerness, and it's political too. I know this rule from Eurovision that nothing is political. But everything is political. You know, if you do silence for something, it's political. If you do Eurovision in Israel, it's political. So everything is political, and for us, this environment of Eurovision, it's like a bubble, a color bubble once a year that we can exist and we can see a lot of things that we don't see usually in Portugal on television. So it's important point. And one curiosity that we never said I think that the person who did the master of our song, the Povo Pequenino, is the same person who did the song of
Barbara Previ.
The French song.
Wow, Barbara Previ.
Voila, yes.
Voila.
And the Belgian person.
Yeah, and also the Blanche's song from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we all remember Blanche. Yeah.
The master, so it's a good
omen.
So we'll keep our fingers crossed for you guys. Thanks.
My favorite, just to finally answer all of your question, my favorite song was Iceland's. And João's favorite song was Switzerland's.
Yeah, last year.
So no one really liked Måneskin.
No, I liked it. But
no, guys, I'm just joking. I like to make us.
I liked it a lot, actually.
Yes, because my boyfriend is Italian. He would kill me if I.
Oh, your boyfriend is Italian. Good. Well, good choice, darling. Good choice. Italians do it better in every way. But anyway, we're talking about your answer now in your music. How do you think your activism linked and mixed to your music could help change or improve the situation of the and also the situation of the LGBT people in Portugal?
To be honest, I don't know, Rafa.
I know it's a tough question, but it's curious to understand because you're clearly doing something for your people.
Obviously, there is this. There is the let's say there is the thing that we will be contributing for the visibility of queer people in Portugal, appearing on Festival da Canção. This creates references that are available for the community. There are very few queer people that are on the public eye in Portugal. There are homosexual people who are public figures, but they are generally very gender conforming, if not heteronormative, and if not bigots themselves. So there aren't many or almost any queer figures in the public eye in Portugal. For example, the success of Conan Osiris was a big thing for us in that sense. So obviously there is that sense of visibility and representation. But apart from that, I feel that it's mostly on the other side to show what kind of impact we can have. Like, we are doing what we feel is the right thing to do, and we are creating the meanings and that we feel that we want to convey, and we want to express and influence. And then we get to see if that makes any sense at all for the people, if people connect to it. And just to make the link with the song, it's becoming really impressive for us, the general reactions that people are showing in Portugal to our song. Until now, it's almost unanimously, they are almost unanimously positive and very positive. For example, it's almost funny for us to see when people write, you managed to you managed to condensate Portugal in 3 minutes of music. And it's funny for us to think that now two Bichas come and are able to create a song that resumes Portugal, you know, like traditional. It's funny.
Guys, last two questions, because unfortunately we're running out of time. Tell us why Portuguese people should be voting for you at Festival da Canção and take you to that fantastic stage in Turin this year.
I think people, well, to begin with, only if you have financial capacity to do so. But, and if you feel like it's something that you want to do. I believe that if people like our proposition, if our proposition, our entry puts them in a good struggle, in a good state of unrest, I feel this is beautiful when music puts us in a good state of unrest, to question ourselves. So if our music manages to do that to you somehow, then if you want to contribute for that possibility to be to reach other people, then if you can, yes, you could vote for us.
Guys, and now the last question that we always ask to all our special guests. Get ready, because this is tricky. What is the question that no one has ever asked you, but you can't wait to answer to it?
Well, no one has ever asked us if we are top, verse, or bottom, for example.
I like this.
But it's not something that we want to answer publicly.
Why not? Why not?
Ah, yes. Well, yes.
The question is the one that you want to answer.
Yes. Do you remember any?
Daily Mirror is free of boundaries, no worries at all.
True. Yeah. Well. But now I'm remembering something that I think no one has ever asked us, which is how our relationship, mine with João, influences our work and our practice within Fado Bicha.
That's great, please.
Because we have a professional relationship, of course, we manage this project together. We don't have a manager, for example. We don't have a label. So we're doing it all by ourselves with the help of incredible people that have joined our project. But it's us in the center and deciding things, all the things, and it can get very exhausting. And our relationship plays a part, our personal relationship of friendship and comradeship and love plays a part in the project as well. And as from my side, I can say that if we hadn't created such a special bond between us, I don't think there would be Fado Bicha anymore. So, just for the Daily Mirror, we're going to listen now to a few seconds of your song for Festival da Canção, which is Povo Pequenino. Era o povo pequenino, pés descalços na geada. Era o povo pequenino na cartilha da pancada. Era o povo pequenino, já puxava pela enxada. Era o povo pequenino a chorar na tabuada. Morder os dentes, lamber os beiços, molhar pão velho na caldeirada. Muito obrigado. Thank you. Well, guys,
Thank you so much
Muito
for your
obrigado.
time
Thank
today with the Gaily Mirror and on Titina Talks. So we remind everybody that you can interact with us using the hashtags Titina22 and hashtag ESC2022. Guys, good luck and don't eat up, as Mama Ru would say. Enjoy your finals there. Bye, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.